NTC News Tonight is produced at the Northern Television Center by journalism students in the Department of Communication.
Tonight, how work on this mechanical arm here at NIU could make life easier for people with Parkinson's. DeKalb will be the first city to host this historic jet, and how filling up these trucks is saving space in our landfills. NTC News Tonight starts now.
Northern Television Center at Northern Illinois University in DeKalb. You're watching DeKalb County's only television news source. This is NTC News Tonight.
Electronics make the world go round these days, but are they also making the world a more dangerous place? Good evening, I'm George Rodas. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Fiorella Cola. If you're tossing those old electronics in the trash, you could be hurting the environment. Fortunately, there's a safe way to get rid of those items, and the place to do it is right here in DeKalb. NTC reporter Liz Johnson tells us more.
This is the sound of what many DeKalb and Sycamore residents were doing on Saturday morning. Cars were waiting in line for 30 minutes or more just to bring in their old electronics, batteries, and light bulbs to the electronic recycling collection.
It's a good opportunity to get rid of old stuff that's no longer useful and maybe filling up our landfills.
From wrapping to packing, empty boxes like this one begin to fill up very quickly with items like keyboards, radios, computer screens, wires, and other electronics. The most unexpected items dropped off were the old tube TVs, and there was even an old video recording camera and radio.
I'm real excited to see the numbers of tons that are going to be saved space in the landfill.
Advanced Technology Recycling, better known as ATR, was filling their 18-wheelers like this one with electronics so they can recycle or shred these items.
So far, it's been a busy morning here. As you can see behind me, this 18-wheeler truck is filled with computer and TV monitors. As you can see, there's a lot more coming.
Guiding car lines, taking electronics out the trunk of many cars, separating and sorting these items. Here, volunteers were trying to help make the line move faster by sorting cars out by what they were bringing in.
I never realized that there were so many different types of ways to recycle so many different types of things. And it's nice to see how over the generations things have gotten smaller and smaller and smaller.
This event began in the fall of 2006 and has been happening twice a year in the DeKalb County Health Department parking lot. From DeKalb, I'm Liz Johnson, NTC News.
Thanks, Liz. As of January, it's now against the law to throw away electronic items.
The DeKalb Chamber of Commerce has parted ways with its executive director. Jim Allen has been asked to step down from his position with the Chamber of Commerce. The decision was made by the president of the Commerce Board, Wendy Westcrouch, along with a vote by the executive board. Now, there are no details as to why Allen was let go, but the decision was mutual for both parties. Allen was elected as executive director back in April of 2009.
Another popular campus bar is in hot water. Starbusters on Hillcrest and Annie Glidden was fined $1,000 for allowing a minor to enter and be served alcohol last month. The owners will have to pay the fine and provide staff training to all servers and managers. This violation could result in the suspension and revocation of the bar's liquor license.
The sounds of roaring jet planes will fill the DeKalb skies next month. DeKalb will be the first city to begin this year's Jet Blast event. The 2012 Jet Blast is an event that brings together jet owners from all over the Midwest. Pilots will participate in activities like flight briefings, formation training, and safety inspections. One of the featured jets will be a MiG-21. It's a vintage fighter jet from the former Soviet Union. Although this event is for pilots only, there will be a public viewing area so you can watch these jets take off.
There are garage sales, and then there's this. DeKalb's largest indoor garage sale came to the Convo over the weekend. Items like clothes, sports collectibles, and other knickknacks filled the Convo Center from top to bottom for this colossal cleanup sweep. Families got to spend the day walking around and checking out the antiques. The Convo's director of marketing says this large indoor space attracts a lot of customers. For vendors, it's better than hosting individual garage sales.
It's like $20 to place an ad in the paper for a garage sale. So if they just rent a booth and then we do the advertising for them, it works out.
As we reported in yesterday's newscast, the Husky statue that was stolen earlier this month has returned to the DeKalb Public Library.
But this isn't the first time the dog statue has been messed with. NTC reporter Mitch Kazak explains.
They can't bark, sit, or roll over, but these dogs here at NIU and the communities around DeKalb are always showing their true colors. Created by the Huskies on Parade program, the school auctioned off the dogs to help support the victims of the February 14th shootings in 2008.
Kind of really saw a big rallying by the community around the university, and we thought that this would be a really great way to show that we're all Huskies. That tended to be the catchphrase for that following semester.
Each dog was painted by the organization that donated to the fund, making them all unique, but all the attention has made them a target for vandalism and theft.
Well, I was kind of shocked. I never thought anyone would consider doing this. However, it's been done.
Until a few days ago, a Husky statue used to be sitting right here. As you can tell by the marks left by it, the statue was picked up and moved over here onto the sidewalk, where it was then dragged into the street. But this isn't the first time a statue around NIU has been broken or stolen. The NIU media hound nicknamed Snappy was also stolen back in 2010 and then later found. The DeKalb Public Library hopes that their concrete canine will also find its way home.
You know, whatever intent, for whatever intent and purposes they took it, you know, we don't care why they took it, we just want the dog back in one piece.
For kids like this, the missing pup will be one less friend to climb on and play with. For NTC News, I'm Mitch Kazak, DeKalb.
Thanks, Mitch. The missing Husky statue was found in the Afton Forest Preserve over the weekend.
Parkinson's is a disease without a cure, but that won't stop NIU engineering students from helping out. This mechanical arm represents a tremor that a Parkinson's victim struggles with every day. 3 NIU students are working to control tremors like this one to improve the lives of those with Parkinson's. First, a computer program turns the tremor into a graph. From there, students use the graph to build motors. The goal is to have the motors do the opposite of what the tremor is doing. This will reduce shakiness and help more people with Parkinson's accomplish everyday activities.
Parkinson's is a huge quality of life issue. So whether it's writing checks, putting on makeup, or eating, it'll just help people live better and live a normal life, or closer to one than what they do now.
Coming up in a few minutes, we'll sit down with the professor who helped bring this project to NIU.
If you saw the movie Ferris Bueller, you remember this famous saying, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Video journalist Michael Lewis introduces us to an NIU alum who found his own way to relax, slow down, and enjoy life away from all the noise.
I started building models when I was just a little kid. I was about 10 or 11 at the time, just looking for something to do, and found a model at a flea market one day that my father bought me for about 50 cents. It looked like it would be fun to try, so I built it. You know, modeling has been, I think, probably a bit of a dying hobby, or at least not growing very quickly, certainly among young people today. There's so many other distractions for young people today. You know, nowadays, the society is pretty fast-paced. I think that, you know, I think it's important that people sometimes slow down and take time to think, and modeling is a great way for people to kind of disconnect, turn off the iPod, put away the cell phone, and just think about, you know, putting together a really well-crafted model and just sort of just, take some time off, take a breather. I think I'll continue building models for quite some time. I really enjoy it. It's a great way for me to relieve the stress of the day, to get away, think about something completely different, take my mind off whatever issue at work or at home I don't want to think about. So I will continue to do models, and my goal is to get better at them, to have more precision, more detail, finer finishing to them. Each one I do, I get a little bit better, it gets a little bit cleaner. I take a little bit more time, make a little bit more detail in the finish of the model. And once I'm done with this, I'll probably go back into balsa wood airplane models or even plastic models to see if I can hone my skills there as well.
Such a nice piece. It must take a lot of discipline to be that precise.
Oh yeah, a lot of discipline and a lot of patience.
Yeah, well, I'm sure most of us are going outside to relax because of this nice weather we're having.
Yes, Zach, sunset is here. Tell us now if this weather will be staying.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't look like that. It's nice for a couple days in the 60s, but it looks like this weekend it's going to be a little cooler. But if we take a look at the highs for around the area tomorrow, it looks like we're going to have some passing thunderstorms through much of the area, a little bit cooler by the lakeside, but I'll have all the details on our forecast coming up. Stay tuned. You're watching NTC News Tonight.
My mama always said, life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get.
Lions, tigers, bears. Oh my! I could have been a contender.
Then let me take Gatio.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Stepping outside today, mostly cloudy. The sun did peek out from time to time, but we reached a daytime high of about 63 today. The good news is we haven't seen any rain, but that might not be the case tomorrow. I'll get into that in just a few moments. Today's daytime high is 63, as I mentioned, right where we should be, 63 degrees. Not on this map, something interesting to note. This is the second time in DeKalb history April has been cooler than May. So we had April and March and April, kind of an interesting fact there. Great Lakes radar, not a whole lot going on in our neck of the woods. Maybe a passing shower or two to our southeast, but that is not going to affect us. The big story for us tomorrow is this low pressure system building up in the northern plains, North Dakota area. The sagging low front is actually going to push some rain and thunderstorms into our area tomorrow. But tonight we're going to stay mostly clear, low of 44 degrees. Then by tomorrow, passing thunderstorms before 1 p.m. if you have class going to work. Be mindful, you might get into some thunderstorm activity tomorrow. High of 66, going to be a lot warmer than we saw today. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, chance of some showers before 1 a.m., a low of 39. And then for the 5-day forecast, the sun comes back out on Thursday, 60 degrees. Then by Friday and Saturday, it looks like some clouds are going to move into the area. But then by Sunday, 52. So it looks like this cold spell we've seen in April is going to continue into this weekend. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, when we get closer to May, we'll see temperatures back in the 70s. That's all for the weather. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Zach. We want you to take a look at an NIU project that's going to change lives. This mechanical arm represents a tremor that Parkinson's victims are all too familiar with. The shakiness you see here makes it hard to do everyday things like eat or even write out a check.
But thanks to NIU engineering project called the Wearable Exoskeleton, Parkinson's victims may have a chance for a normal life.
Dr. Abhijit Gupta is here with us today. He's a professor of mechanical engineering here at NIU and supervising the Wearable Exoskeleton project.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Dr. Gupta, you've spent most of your career working with active vibration control. Can you explain what that is exactly and how that relates to the wearable exoskeleton?
Active vibration control is where we know if there is a vibration, we try to reduce it by putting another vibration which is exactly opposite of original vibration, such as you might have seen active noise cancellation headsets. So it is similar principle, and we are trying to use it for this disease.
How so?
The reason is that I have been working on active vibration control in the past for other structures such as building small structures. However, this Parkinson's disease or essential tremor, there are various forms of disease. To date, there is no good solution for this disease. And this disease, whether life-threatening or not, it is more an issue of quality of life. For example, this coffee, the person with this disease may not be able to drink coffee because it would spill all over. The person, many of them have to quit jobs. So we thought, since after all it's a vibration problem, why not try to see whether active vibration control can be used for this disease.
Now, this project is meant to make the lives of others with Parkinson's disease easier, but one of the major problems right now is making it portable and usable. What does that mean exactly?
We know if we can use something which is very heavy and bulky, then the problem is much easier, because that's how, like I have used in the past something to control vibration. However, when a person has disease, say someone's hand is shaking, they cannot carry a 50-pound shaker. So that's what the main challenge is, to come up with something which is light, portable, and yet it would work in the desired frequency range and desired force.
Now, you've estimated that the average cost associated with Parkinson's is about $10,000 a month. How will this project help with that cost?
Well, the people who have this disease, I mean, there are costs associated with medicine, there are costs associated with, some of them try surgery, not to mention if they have to give up the job, that cost is way more than even all of these. So we are trying to see even if we can make a small improvement in their quality of life.
Now, people with Parkinson's disease have trouble with most routine activities every day. How has this project made you more appreciative of the little things that most people take for granted?
Until I started this project, I guess I was not aware of, but once we started, and in our lab also we have quite often visitors such as parents of prospective students. And it is really heartbreaking to notice almost everyone that comes to the lab has either a friend or relative who has some form of this disease. So that's what made us, in fact, more, how would I say, committed, or trying our best to do this one.
And finally, Dr. Gupta, you told us before today that there are people behind the scenes that have made this all possible.
Yeah.
Who would you say is behind the scenes of this project but deserves a lot of the credit?
Well, I like to first of all thank always the students, because as you know, they do all the work, and as faculty we get the credit. So I currently have about 3 students. In the past I had 2 other graduate students also, and also like to take this opportunity to thank the dean of our college, who has been the really spearheading this project. And in the past also we received funding from Department of Education. So there are a lot of people who have been supportive of this project.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Gupta, for taking the time out to talk with us today. Good luck with the project, and we hope to stay in touch.
Coming up, we have to tell you about a new wave of sectarian violence in Bahrain. And in sports, the Blackhawks fight a losing battle against Phoenix.
I'm in the honors program here at
NTC
NIU.
News Tonight.
The honors house is a place where honors students can live together. I lived in the honors house as a freshman, so I got to meet people right off the bat. I was with students who were in the same kinds of classes as me. So living in the honors house just meant I had that group to start off with. Living with other honors students made all the difference in my experience, so why go anywhere else?
Northern Illinois University, learning today,
Leading tomorrow.
Peaceful negotiations are out of sight for 2 bordering countries.
And unrest continues in Bahrain, and here's what's happening in today's World Watch. Police in Bahrain clashed Monday with opposition protesters and mourners attending the funeral of demonstrator killed over the weekend. Security forces released tear gas, flashbang grenades, and bird shots against the protesters. The Shiite opposition is seeking equality and human rights reform in the Sunni-ruled kingdom.
Sudan is continuing its aerial bombardment of South Sudan, dropping 8 bombs overnight. Sudanese warplanes bombed a market, a town, and an oil field. The president of South Sudan says Sudan's actions amount to a declaration of war on his country.
Half a dozen teenagers in Southern California have been to the hospital emergency room in the past few months because of hand sanitizer. Health officials say they had to be treated for alcohol poisoning after drinking the liquid. Liquid hand sanitizer is 62% ethyl alcohol and makes a 120 proof drink. Experts recommend that parents buy foam instead of liquid.
Home prices are lower in most major U.S. cities for a 6th straight month. It's a sign that modest sales gains haven't been enough to boost prices. Chicago is on the list of cities with the steepest declines. And that's today's World Watch.
The Hawks were on the brink of elimination again last night.
That's right. Eli Gain joins us with sports to tell us how the game went.
Well, the game didn't end too well for Hawks fans and Hawks players in Game 6 between the Hawks and the Coyotes. Hawks dominated pretty much throughout this game. Second period, here's Oliver Ekman-Larsson getting his first career playoff goal. And then third period, Coyotes just starting to pull away here. Gilbert Brule from Kyle Chipchura puts the Phoenix up 2-0. Then Mikkel Bodker to Antoine Vermette around the net on the power play goal. Coyotes send the Hawks fans home. They win the series. Mike Smith for Phoenix had 39 saves. To the Cubs and Cardinals, bottom of the ninth, 2 men on. Joe Mather at the plate gets the ball rolling, and wow, here comes 1 run will score. Giovanni Soto, get your big boy over that plate. Joe Mather becomes the hero. Cubs go on to win it 3-2. And then Gordon Beckham and company, the White Sox taking on the Oakland A's in Oakland. Here's Beckham here ripping the RBI single. They're up 2-0 in the top of the ninth. 1 run comes across, 3-0 White Sox. Then later, bases loaded, A.J. Pierzynski, Ricky Weeks trips over his own feet, can't get the out. That brings in the 4th run. Sox going to win it 4-0, and Peavy dominates in his complete game shutout. And in sports notes today, the NIU men's team claimed a piece of the MAC regular season championship this past Friday. The Huskies finished 4-1 in MAC play to earn its first championship in program history. Congrats to those guys. And now for today's play of the day, we're going to go out to New York where the Mets took on the Giants. It's going to be Emmanuel Burris here in the top of the 5th inning. Bases are loaded. Gets a little shot up the middle. And look at Burris making the nice little flip to turn the double play. And you know what? It's so nice, you got to see it twice. Makes a nice little play there. Giants go on to win this one over the Mets. And also today, guys, for back here in DeKalb, the NIU baseball team is going to take the field against Wisconsin-Milwaukee at home. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now, so hopefully they can break that snap today.
Yeah, hopefully they can.
Yeah, thanks, Eli.
Coming up, it's the end of an era as one coach makes her final rounds here at NIU. We'll explain.
Lead paint poisoning affects over 1 million children today. Just 3 granules of lead dust can harm your child. If your home was built before 1978, log on to leadfreekids.org.
As one NIU team wraps up their season, their coach wraps up her career.
NTC reporter Kelsey Passall tells us about a coach whose positive influence went above and beyond par for the course.
She worries about us as a person before a player. She's always there smiling and makes you feel a little better about yourself.
She's always very positive no matter what. She's just always there for you 100%.
These are just a few of the great things the NIU women's golf team has to say about their coach, Pam Tiska. After 26 years here at NIU, Coach Tiska has announced she'll be retiring at the end of this spring season. While every year has brought with it a new set of faces and swings, one thing has consistently remained the same: Coach Tiska's positive attitude.
There's so many things that come into a collegiate person's life that aren't positive. You know, I hear the calls to home, and the only calls to home are the ones where you had a disaster day. You know, very infrequently are the ones calls home. I had a great day today, let me tell you why. So, you know, to try to turn that culture for everybody into, you know, think of the glass half full rather than half empty, I think has been something that I have seen as a need, or identified as a need 26 years ago, and just continued on with it.
Not having Coach around will be surreal for the Huskies, but the girls coming back next year are keeping an open mind about a new addition to the team.
I'm kind of excited for a new coach to see if they can bring a new flavor into this program, but it will be sad to see, you know, not come back and have Pam there.
For the last 2.5 decades, Coach Tiska has called NIU her home. Even though she's moving on with her career, her memories and time spent with the team will make this a very emotional goodbye.
Being involved in, you know, the everyday up and downs on and off the golf course, and hopefully being an important part of the total matriculation of every single alumni and player that I've been fortunate enough to be able to coach is what I'm going to miss the most.
For NTC News, I'm Kelsey Passelt.
Thanks, Kelsey, for that really touching farewell.
Coach Tiska and the Lady Huskies will head to the MAC Championship on Thursday for their final tournament.
Yeah, I imagine there won't be a dry eye on that course after the last hole's played.
Yeah, she'll be missed.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us here at NTC News Tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
We hope to see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
NTC News Tonight is produced at the Northern Television Center by journalism students in the Department of Communication.